$4.5 trillion. That's what billionaires are about to pocket while working families watch their health care, their food assistance, and their kids' school lunches get gutted in a single evening vote. One side celebrated, the other side is losing everything. And the cruelest part, the people taking the hardest hit are the same ones who put these guys in office. Today, we're watching real people process what just happened, and it's a lot. Welcome back to Stolen Freedom. Let's get into it.
The House voted yesterday evening to make your lives even harder. House Republicans voted to gut Medicaid, SNAP benefits, school lunches, and housing assistance. Also, billionaires can pocket $4.5 trillion in cuts.
Bro, $880 billion slashed from sick people, kids, elderly, and the savings go straight to the top. That's not governance. That's a shakedown in a suit. And the part that gets me, the guys cheering this on the loudest, a lot of them are on Medicaid. Working men, veterans, rural communities who were sold this as cutting government waste. The waste they cut was their own coverage, adding $19 trillion to the deficit on top of it. That's not fiscal responsibility. That's just theft with better PER.
Because nothing's...
I think you guys completely underestimate how stupid some people are out there. If you're watching this channel, it means that your IQ is already like up there. Because a lot of people are so stupid. They're voting for policies that are completely against them.
Says fiscal responsibility, like cutting $880 billion from Medicaid and adding $19 trillion to the deficit. The vote came out to 217 to 215, with every Democrat voting against it, along with one Republican, Thomas Massie from Kentucky, who I mentioned in my previous video as being one of the staunch opposition to the bill. A few other Republicans also initially opposed the bill, including Victoria Spartz, Warren Davidson, and Tim Burchett. But after Burchett got a personal phone call from President Krasnov, he decided he really needed to think about it, pray about it, and decide right when he walked up.
One phone call, that's literally all it took. And look, man to man, if you fold that fast, you were never standing for anything in the first place.
You gotta shake down. It's called a shakedown.
Pray about it and then votes yes the second he walks up. That's not conviction. That's a guy who just got told what his future looks like if he says no. 173,000 people in his district depending on him. One call comes in and they all become somebody else's problem. That's not leadership. That's a guy protecting his chair while everyone else loses theirs.
Translation, he got an offer he couldn't refuse. Now, House Republicans and Senate Republicans, who just approved a separate bill of their own not too long ago, have to come together to try to either strike a deal or let it all implode. And given their history of being able to meet in the middle, this should be fun. But given the stakes, not so much. Whatever happens next, one thing is for certain. Working families will be footing the bill once again.
Yo, what's going on, guys? So Donald Trump is just getting crazier. Apparently, he shut off Medicaid. As you can see here, it's trending all over X because this is affecting millions of Americans. For those of you that don't know, Medicaid is a government program for people with low income. It helps them with healthcare. So, medicine, doctor visits, hospital stays, even nursing homes will be affected. And a lot of these people won't be able to afford these things. And a lot of those people will actually be supporters of Trump. So pretty much he's saying he doesn't care about those low-income people. Really, he doesn't care if they die.
Harsh? Yeah, but statistically, not wrong. When you know 70 million people depend on Medicaid and you know that cutting $880 billion means people lose life-saving care and you still push the bill through, that's not ignorance. That's a deliberate choice. And a massive chunk of the people making that choice don't live in the communities that will feel it. They don't wait in rural ERs. They don't drive 90 minutes for a hospital visit. They don't have a grandmother in a nursing home funded by Medicaid. They make the decision. Other people pay the price every single time.
And
you know who else is going to pay the price? You as caregivers. If you're a caregiver and you're watching this, you have these patients that are on Medicare and Medicaid. What do you think is going to happen? How are you going to get paid? This is why I keep hitting on this point. You guys, you need to stay very far away from Medicare and Medicaid. Anytime you are confronted with a case that involves Medicare and Medicaid moving forward, you need to just like turn it down because it's not sustainable. These cuts are going to continue. I think about 90% of patients that you're probably taking care of right now are on Medicare or Medicaid. So switch to private pay now before it's too late.
Guess who's he's giving money to? The millionaires, right? The Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musk, the Zuckerbergs. So again, this is all about the rich getting richer. Trump bamboozled you.
Up early heading to work, but I just want to let you know the bill passed the House last night. Votes were 217 to 215. All Democrats voted no. One Republican sat out and voted no. The rest voted yes. So all these town halls, they have it, and it still went in there and passed this bill that's going to have a huge, huge cut on Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, student loans. We're about to be living in Trump's tax cut again for another 10 years. We're still in his tax cut. This is so devastating. So I don't want to hear nobody that voted for Trump come on this app and cry about their food stamps, upset about their grandparents' Medicaid benefits being reduced. I don't want to hear it because this is ridiculous. And the people that's going to suffer the most are those in the deep red state that voted for this man. We are in that phase. We've been in it, but we're about to get deeper in that FAFO phase.
FAFO, honestly, but a most accurate description of this entire moment. The town halls happened, the phone calls happened, people showed up, and 217 votes happened anyway. So now we're in the consequence chapter. And consequence chapters don't care about your excuses, your intentions, or how many times you shared something online. They're blind like that. The question now isn't what went wrong. It's what you do with this information going forward, because midterms exist, primaries exist, accountability can still exist if people choose it.
Let's talk about it, y'all. Bye.
Right now, Republicans in Congress are trying to slash $880 billion from Medicaid, terminating health care for millions of people. In Michigan, that means more than 700,000 people could lose their health care. Even those not on Medicaid will end up paying more for their insurance. It impacts all of us. It also means that
So even the ones that are not Medicaid or Medicare, they're going to have to pay more for insurance, like she said, which is true. So what do you think is going to happen, especially in this economy where people are barely surviving? They're just going to cancel their health insurance. And if they cancel the health insurance, what does that mean? It means that they're going to have to pay out of pocket for everything. So you need to position yourself to receive private pay out of pocket patients, if you're a caregiver.
hospitals and nursing homes will lose critical funding and have to close their doors, disproportionately impacting rural communities.
Rural community. And I need guys, especially to hear this one. That rural hospital isn't just a building. It's the economic engine of the whole town. Biggest employer, biggest payroll, biggest reason small businesses survive out there. You pull that out, everything else collapses with it. Hospital closes, to jobs gone, to families leave, to schools shrink, to local businesses fold, to nothing left. 150 communities have already lived this since 2005. And 750 more are sitting right on that edge right now. The men who voted to push them over that edge, they'll never feel a single day of consequence from it. The men working those towns, they'll feel it for generations.
It's really simple. Michiganders and people in every state cannot afford these cuts. Every community relies on Medicaid, whether you're battling cancer, taking care of a family member with a disability, or just trying to get the health care you need. Medicaid also strengthens our economy by bringing in new jobs and putting money back in people's pockets. We can't let Republicans take this all away. It's up to all of us to protect Medicaid and make sure everyone can access the care that they need.
Well, folks, that new House budget, get ready because they plan on cutting the entire budget for Medicaid by $880 billion, pretty much leaving anybody that's been on Medicaid, including children, the sick, elderly, whomever, without any form of insurance.
I think the Democrats warned us about this, right? If you guys remember, the Republicans have been trying to gut this Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, for a long, long time, for at least 10 years now. And they finally succeeded, but we've been warned. And it's about to go down. The United States is now a third world country. This means that you need to start operating as if we're in a third world country, guys. Okay?
Of course, this is to partially fund extending the Trump tax cuts permanently. So basically, they're, taking away from the people who actually need that money to give to the billionaires. Big shocker there. They're going to try to implement new regulations for Medicaid and how to get it, but the amount of money is going to be drastically reduced, and thereby, having to drastically decrease the number of people enrolled in Medicaid that are actually receiving benefits. Oddly enough, it's people that live in red states that are going to be hit the hardest.
This is the part that should keep people up at night. Red states receive the most federal aid per capita: Mississippi, West Virginia, Kentucky, Arkansas, highest Medicaid enrollment rates in the country, most to lose from this bill, and they voted for it the hardest. Now, here's what I genuinely believe happened. The culture war noise got louder than the policy reality. They're coming for your kids, your guns, your culture drowns out. They're coming for your grandmother's nursing home coverage. That's not an accident. That's a strategy. Keep people angry about the wrong things, and they won't notice what's actually being taken until it's already gone.
Those are the people that...
Nursing home coverage is going to be impacted. So if you guys are taking care of the elderly, it's inevitable. Like, how are you going to get paid? Again, I keep repeating on this. I'm not going to react to the whole video. Please go subscribe to this channel. Stolen Freedom is becoming one of my favorite channels here. And it's going to give you the reality, guys. The harsh reality that this economy is going through. And the thing is, when the economy is changing like this, there's going to be winners and losers. So you got to pick which side you want to be on. Do you want to be on the winning side, or you want to be on the losing side? The losing side is doing things exactly as you've been doing them for a long time. That strategy is not going to work. In fact, it's going to backfire on you. You better be looking to pivot. Whatever you got to do, whatever you're thinking about doing right now, you need to start pivoting. And I know how to get you out of this mess. But it starts with you investing in yourself. How you invest in yourself is by scheduling a call, because I got the cheat code. Schedule a call. Put a link in the description of this video. You're going to need a coach. Everybody needs a coach. Kobe needed a coach. Rest in peace to Kobe. LeBron needs a coach. Michael Jordan needed a coach. And so will you. Schedule a call. Put a link in the description of this video. Talk to you soon.